Oh, wow. What's up? Woo, I know it, man. It just seemed like it's been forever since we have been off. Oh, man. And we are a week. No, we're not even a week. We're a couple of days away from the Super Bowl. We are a few days away. What is this? Today is Wednesday. And sure enough, we're not playing in it once again. But we do know that Jerry Jones said he's all in. All right, what's up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's team? It's your guy, G, the number one Cowboy fan. Hampton coming at you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's right, I said Mo news, M-O news that you can use. And here we are. We are on the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Give it up. All right, man. Listen. Okay. All right. So, yeah, here we are. We got some. Everybody says all quiet on the home front, and it is. It's very, very quiet. But before we get into that, I got to give a big shout out to all those, because I really want to thank all the subscribers and all those that are played a part of the Cowboy Huddle podcast. Because, again, I always say, man, we appreciate your support. So we need to give thanks to certain individuals here real quick, and let's see if the moderator can give that up. There we go. We got to get a big thanks to the Cowboys on deck, Cowboy Fan 365, We Them Boys, 520 Boys, Queen of Honor by Cowboys Fan Club, Mexico, Cowboy Fan Zone 24/7, Guadalajara, Hard Hitters Lifestyle, One Star One Family, and all those others that follow us, man. We just appreciate you for being a part of the channel. Give it up. Yeah, man. I mean, it's this what's going on right now. It's kind of quiet in a way. In a way, it's kind of quiet, but that's why you come here, because guess what? I got some news, and I'm going to share it with you. Just the thing about it, that there's no motion, there's no movement, there's no transactions. There's no hiring, firing, and we know there's some hiring going on. We know about Dan Quinn, but we're looking for the meat of the conversation, and that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, we need to get into this. But everybody, I want to say welcome again. Here we are, and my moderator, Mama Fleabug, is in the background. So let's give it up for her, the moderator. She's in the background. Make sure I stay on script and on point, but I get to talking, man, and I just get to talk about anything when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys. So, we got to get into this, man. So, I think I see one comment. What we got going on here? Okay, Cowboy Babe. Well, hello there, Cowboys for life. I'll be in Vegas. Woo! Give it up for Cowboy Babe. All right. It would be really great if it was us, the Cowboys. Buzz, I'm feeling some kind of way, brother. It's like that commercial. Hey, y'all seen that commercial with the guy have the fishing rod and he has the dollar bill on the fishing hook of the dollar with the dollar bill, and he throws it out there, and the person goes and grabs it. Oh, I gotta be faster than that. That's where we are. Oh, we gotta be faster than that. And yeah, the NFL threw it out there, and we reached for it, and we missed. What's going on, Buzz? I see you, man. How you doing, brother? How you feeling? And everything. We're a few days away. Again, you're not a Cowboy fan if you are pulling for the 49ers. I'm just saying, and we got something to talk. We got an ex-Cowboy that's playing in the Super Bowl. We're gonna get to that too. But with that being said, let's get right on into this. So let's get into this first topic, man. And people just basically giving him a hard time about this, man. Tony Pollard didn't know. He didn't know. Tony Pollard didn't know, okay? So and everybody's giving this guy such a hard time. Like, man, how is it that Tony Pollard didn't know? But so he was on Wednesday. He's on a show, the Pat McAfee show. And yet, and this is what it's been said, it says, and yet when being asked about Dan Quinn's potential successor, Pollard admitted Wednesday was when he first learned of the coach's departure. Pollard said, it's crazy, he said with a smile, along the Super Bowl's radio show in Vegas. I had been off of social media. I got rid of Instagram midway through the season. Being a Cowboy, you have to find ways to keep your mental on point. I just found out right now that Dan Quinn is now Commander head coach. The running back said not being as dialed in with social media allows him to be more attentive to his children. Give it up for that. For real, man. He said, I'm more present in the house. Paula said of being not very plugged into the internet and social media, playing around with my kids, watching TV and movies a lot. I'm big on UFC. That's my game that I play. All right. So, yeah, and I got to give it up to Tony, man, for him to be disconnected from the internet like that. I mean, whew, you know what it takes to be disconnected from the social media? Whew, my gosh. So big kudos to Tony Pollard because, like you said, because he disconnected himself from social media. He didn't even know that his coach was gone. But damn, shouldn't a teammate or somebody say, TP, man, you heard about Dan? Damn, nobody had even reached out to the brother. Could it mean that TP knows that he would no longer be a Dallas Cowboy player? Has he already cleaned out his locker and he's looking at elsewhere to play? I mean, things like that. You should hear something about when your coach is leaving or something of that nature, but it just, I don't know. So, but yeah, so he said he wasn't in the know. He wasn't in the know what was going on with, Dan Quinn. We're going to talk about Dan Quinn. So, but with that being said, guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but we do have a ex-Cowboy player that's playing in the Super Bowl. You mean to tell me you got to leave the Cowboys in order to play in the Super Bowl? Yeah, that's right. Man, so yeah, Randy Gregory. Let's give it up for Randy Gregory. Congratulations, Randy Gregory, but I definitely don't want you to win. I hate to say it, but I don't want you to win, okay? That's just the way it is. But so we know the deals with, his battles with addiction, with the league substance abuse, things like that. He was suspended in again in first of all, he's suspended in what was that, 2016? And then the entirety of 2017, and then again in 2019. Oh man, Randy Gregory. I was a big fan of Randy. I like Randy, man. He was tall, lanky, and could hit. He could bend the edges and catch grass, and he was a force to be reckoned with, man, on the field, man. So, but it took for him to go to, after he left Denver Broncos, after initially agreeing to a 5-year deal in Dallas, a clause allowing the Cowboys to collect bonuses in the event of a suspension, standard in the team's contract. But a sudden source of controversy to Gregory and his agent would spoil the goodwill Dallas spent 6 years building. At this point, Gregory said, a lot of people will either like me or don't like me and have their reasons. I have a family that loves me and players and teammates and coaches that love me in this league. So, but he goes on to say that at 31 years old, he was traded due to his ineffectiveness. And so this guy has been through the ringer, man. But a lot of this is self-inflicted. But he also says, but to be able to say I've gone through what I've gone through, and whether it be self-inflicted or not, I've been able to pick myself up and continue to the point where I am here at the Super Bowl, Gregory said. He said, it's something I've always dreamed of, being a football player, but something you can never really fathom and process. He said, I'm grateful to be here. So, Man, yeah, man. Big shout out to Randy Gregory, man. I mean, damn, you have to leave the Dallas Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl. Damn, we still got to try to find the road. We just can't seem to find the road to the Super Bowl, but it is what it is, man. And hopefully we get our act together. That's all I can say. Hopefully we get our act together here soon. But what it's looking like right now, we are going through a process. And this process here, man, is a process to, like I titled the video. There's a reason the Cowboys are quiet, and that reason is Dak Prescott. Wait a minute, let me give it to you. Oh yeah, the reason we're not seeing any moves, and we're not hearing big names, and we're not hearing a big splash, which we already heard from Jerry. Jerry said that we're all in. We're all in, and right now there's nothing taking place. But let me say that the reason is Dak Prescott. And you probably heard me say this before, but Dak Prescott has all the control in the world, Craig. He has all the control. This man has a no trade clause. This man has a no tag clause. This man is owed $59.6 million. This man can walk and get paid at the same time, or you can extend him or not extend him. So it's nothing that Jerry can tell Dak. There's nothing that Steven can tell Dak. There's nothing Will McClay can tell Dak. Dak is in control of the Dallas Cowboys organization. Just that's what it is. So I think why we haven't heard anything as far as a defensive coordinator, or why we haven't heard anything about the running back position, free agents, linebacker, it's all because they have to see what Dak is going to do. I'm just telling you, you can say what you want, but Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, none of those guys can make a move until they get Dak situated. That's $59.6 million that's sitting on the table. Jerry and them has to figure out what they want to do with this 59.6 or 59 and some change. I'll take the change though. I really would. But yeah, so they have to figure out. So I think it's a waiting game. I really think it's a waiting game as far as where the Cowboys go from here. Because once again, like I said, Dallas Cowboys have to wait on Dak Prescott. Now, and you might say, well, that don't make sense. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what the holdup is, So and that's why we only have news about Dan Quinn. And you guys already know that Dan Quinn has moved on. Dan Quinn is over, I guess, as the head coach over at one of our rival teams, which is the Washington Commanders. And yeah, he has taken Joe Witt, which we thought Joe Witt would probably be one of the candidates as far as our defensive coordinator, but he has taken Joe Witt with him. But with that being said, Dan Quinn was also trying to get an interview with our tight end coach. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Jerry Jones put a block on that. So, and you got to understand, too, Dan Quinn is in need of a coaching staff. So, yeah, who else to reach out to is, better than the guys that he coached with. So, yeah, he's reaching out to certain coaches from the Cowboys. So, again, we know that Dan Quinn has moved on. Dan Quinn has moved on, and he's developing his team over there at Washington. But let me say this here, guys, and I know some of us are saying right now, we're saying, man, I'm glad he's gone, man, and he need to be gone, and way he played that last game, it just was trash and things like that. But guys, we got to go back to when Dan Quinn got here. After that fiasco that we had to go through with Mike Nolan, we gave up the most points damn near in history with Mike Nolan. And you talking about We're sitting here saying about this about Dan, but come on, let's go back to the days of Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan, I think Mike Nolan was actually hired to tear us down or something. I mean, this guy here was the worst of the worst. So when we talk about Dan Quinn, we got to say, you know, what he has done since he been here. He turned the season around in one season. He literally turned the defense around in one season. And he went on from there, and he continued to get better with the addition of other players, addition of new players, drafted players, free agents. And sure enough, this past season, we had a bad game. And it was against Green Bay. And it happens. And I say that to say, I think the thing about it, and I've said this before, the game is starting to innovate. You get these young coaches with these college mindset, and they got the razzle dazzle, they got the motions, they got the misdirection. And this is the only thing that concerned me with Dan Quinn. I think possibly the game has innovated to a point to where Dan Quinn has a problem stopping this new innovative offense, this motion offense. I've said it months ago about we have a problem. Dan Quinn has a problem with this type of offense. And it led me to believe that I think more younger coaches is bringing this style of play into the league. Just like, remember, we moved from the double tights and we went to the 5 wide. That was a new era. We called it the West Coast offense, and we called it the air raid and things like. So the game is going to always evolve, and I think it's on that brink of evolving even more. And Dan Quinn being around for as long as he's been, it's I think it's more like that. The game is starting to pass him up. I think the game is starting to pass him up, and that could be a problem because unless he learns or he gets someone in there that knows this defense, in which that might be what he might do. He might just bring his a defensive coordinator in that is more familiar with that type of offense. So, we can't just really say that Dan was just trash. He wasn't trash. It just, he had problems with certain teams, but a 12-5 record. And you got to think about it this also, guys. There was several games that Dan Quinn coached that bailed out our offense. There was several games that Dan Quinn and his defense actually carried the offense. I mean, come on. I mean, we got to be, if we're going to talk about it, we got to be straight up about it. But there was times that our defense had to carry our offense. I mean, and again, it happens. And now, he gave up the points that he gave up against the Green Bay is unfortunate. And I still feel bad. I mean, I think that was one of the worst games we ever lost. I hate to say it, but then again, it is what it is. That was probably one of the worst games. And I understand, Dak had something to do with it as well. But like I said, we lost that game on all aspects of the game. So, yeah, Dan Quinn and his coaching style didn't help. But again, I'm not going to just bash Dan Quinn because he did turn his defense around, and I hate to see him go. But which that leads us right now. So, and we're talking about candidates. We're talking about candidates that we want to bring in to interview. And all I can say, man, the interview, there's Mike Zimmer, which Mike Zimmer is one. He's very aggressive. He's a very aggressive style coach. He loves the blitz. I think his style really works for Micah Parsons. You'll probably see Micah Parsons, if he's selected, you'll probably see Micah Parsons as one that you're going to see him blitzing from the middle. You're going to see him moving around the middle, hitting the A gaps and things like that. And Zimmer being able to use him multiple places. So Yeah, Mike Zimmer is one that came in for an interview, and also you got to remember Mike Zimmer was also a former coach for the Cowboys, so he's familiar with Jerry Jones and things like that. But yeah, so Mike Zimmer is one that we brought in. Old Riverboat Ron Rivera. Now there is something about what we're seeing right now, and I'm gonna explain that to you. And we're talking about Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is a friend of Mike McCarthy. He's an older guy. He's been in the league a long time as well, just as long as Dan Quinn, Mike Zimmer, and some of the others out there. But there's a reason that they're looking at Ron Rivera, and we're going to mention that in a minute. But Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded coach. Would he be my first choice? No, I don't think he would be my first choice. I don't even know if I want to bring him in. I mean, I don't know if I want to bring him in as my defensive coach, knowing that again you have a new type of football being played on the offensive side of the ball. So Ron Rivera is one that I don't know. I don't know if I want to bring him in. I mean, you could do the tit for tat. Well, Washington took Dan Quinn, so we're going to take Ron. No, Riverboat, I'm not seeing. Now, this next individual. Yeah, that's him. Rex Madman Ryan. No, I'm not going to call him that. Rex Ryan. But another older gentleman that the Cowboys actually had a chance to talk to. I don't know if it was an interview or not, but yeah, the Cowboys did have a chance to talk to Rex Ryan about what? Have no idea, but yeah, it could be possibly for the defensive coordinator job. The thing about Rex Ryan been out the league for the longest. And my question is, why would we go get Rex Ryan when we could have had a chance to get Bill Belichick or the coach from Tennessee? Why would we even be looking at this? Bringing Rex Ryan in. It's like we're running the over 55 coaching club. But that's a big no for me. I'm sorry. I mean, and again, and I'm going to explain why they're going this route with the older coaches. There's a reason why. But now, outside of this older coach, this is an individual that I think that he won over Aiden Dirty. Aiden Dirty is, I think, the defensive line coach for the Cowboys. And these guys really, really play for him. He's a young individual. He knows the defense. If they wanted to do something different, this what different would look like. This is what different. Aiden Dirty has been there for a while with the Cowboys, and I've watched how he engages with the players, and the players basically they engage with him as well. But if we're gonna do anything, I think this would probably be the best move. So again, these are just a few of people that's a possible candidate. But what's going on, Cowboy? Rex and Zimmer are my two top candidates. Yeah. I don't know about Rex, brother. I'm really. So this is what I'm saying also. So the reason they're going this route is you got to remember that Mike McCarthy is on a 1-year contract deal. No extension. There's no extension whatsoever. So with that being said, they're going to play this year out. Okay? They're going to play this year out and see how it goes before they go get a coach for the future. So you're going with these older individuals. Now, this is just my opinion. It's just one of those things. I believe that they're doing this due to the fact that Mike McCarthy is on a 1 year and they're playing it safe. These are coaches that you can get for 1 year. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these Yeah, Cowboy, if you want to catch that link, if you want to, and then so I can hear what you got to say about this. But yeah, they're playing it safe. So they got the grumpy old men to come in and coach for one season. And then once, we figure out what we're gonna do with Dak. Again, like I said, Dak is the piece. My guy, Chip. Give it up for Chip. Chip's in the house. What's up, baby? Salute. Man, I'm just sitting over here trying to figure things out, man, and trying to get to the point to which direction we're gonna go. But if you're available, man, you're more than welcome to come in, because we getting ready at 7:30. We're gonna allow people to come in and talk. And so give me about 4 minutes. I'm gonna bring you on, brother. Cowboy Corner, you can catch that link as well. But again, so I think this is the safe route for Jerry to go right now, because I got Dak Prescott, got Jerry, and Stephen by the gonads. Can't make it up. It's the truth. This guy is, in control. But again, this is what I'm thinking. But I really think I like Aiden Durde. I would love to see him come in. But again, their plan is smart, because they're playing this 1 year out. It's more of this show me Mike McCarthy before we do anything else. But this is what Jerry Jones is calling all in. That's not all in. And I don't think we won't see all in until they do something with Dak. But anyway, I got some guys in the back in the green room back here. Let's bring them in, man. We got two guys here. We gonna take the 5 minutes down. We gonna let these brothers come in and let them voice their opinion. Coming to the stage is the one and only. This guy here knows his stuff, and he's a big Cowboy fan, and it's our guy, Cowboy Corner. Give it up. All right, what's going on, brother?
What's good, man? Everything good with you guys?
Man, we trying to get it together, man. We trying to. It's pretty quiet with the Cowboys, man. So we finna talk about it. I got one more individual in the green room, and this guy here holds it down on the East Coast for it. And it's our guy, Chip, Game Sports TV. Give it up. All right, fellas, what is going on today? How y'all feeling?
Salute. Pure Line rocking with the best. Chip, Game Sports TV. Happy to be with my man G in the Cowboys huddle.
All right. Appreciate it. What's going on, Cowboys Corner? How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I like that the Dallas Cowboys aren't settling on just, they screwed up just interviewing Marvin, the coach from the Bengals, right? I can't remember his name.
Marvin. Yeah.
Yes. They interviewed him, and then they interviewed Mike McCarthy. They hired Mike McCarthy. They should have went through more interviews, right? They should have done that. So now, with the lame duck season of Mike McCarthy, now they want to get in Martindale. Now they want to bring in Zimmer, Rex Ryan. Doherty is a laughing stock. That dude shouldn't even be in a conversation for a defensive coordinator position. But the reason why I like this is because Mike McCarthy can't afford a Mike Vrabel to come in here and change the scheme, because he runs a 3-4, right?
Yeah.
So Mike McCarthy has to put his trust in whoever he hires, because if we don't do good, he's gone. If he don't do good, he's out. So Mike McCarthy's being very strategic with Jerry Jones on bringing in veteran guys that know who they're going to do, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, what's the landscape. They're taking their time. Everyone wants to be so click-happy and clickbaited. Oh, this coach has to. No. Fans, we got to take a back seat during this time.
Yeah.
Because the organization has to do what's best for the organization.
Yeah.
And right now, the process of the interview, of dragging this thing out, bringing more butts into that interview seat, I like it. My top two candidates are Mike Zimmer and Rex Ryan. And you're thinking, Rex Ryan, what? The dude he's a seasoned vet. He doesn't have the talent of a Trayvon Diggs, a Deron Bland, a Micah Parsons, a Oso Diggy Zua, a Malik Hooker, a Donald Wilson. He had Darrelle Revis, and he had some couple of good linebackers with the Jets, and he got to an AFC Championship game with Mark Sanchez. All right? We have a Mark Sanchez. His name's Dak Prescott.
Oh, wait a minute.
What? We got a Mark Sanchez. His name's Dak Prescott. So Greg Beck can get that defense in order. Hey, listen, we might go to an NFC Championship game.
Woo! Chip. Did you take all that in, brother? I mean,
it was a lot to take in from Cowboys corner for sure. And I like what he's saying and agree with a great bit of it. But one thing that I really wish they would do in this process, because you got to realize, although the coach is a lame duck coach, okay, set for 1 year, and if it doesn't go well now, he could be out in the middle of that year, slicing in half.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at this point of the game, we are the very last to the table. We're the last team waiting to get a defensive coordinator. We're behind the shotgun. We got to move fast. Whoever you're going to pick, it's wise to go slow, but it's a good thing to go fast. Let's get in there fast. Let's get some stuff installed. See what we're going to be running. Let's do something now. It is, to me, I'm just going from my fan standpoint. Right. It's a shame and a disgrace that we find ourselves in a predicament at this juncture where we're picking last. We always last to the table, always the last one in, last to let free agents go, last getting the crabs at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to free agency. Pick your coach now. Let's get ready to get our guns locked and loaded so we can see what we're doing next year. We got to move. We have got to move, gentlemen.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is Cowboys Corner is saying that we need to take the back seat and kind of chill out and just let things happen. And then Chip is saying we need to be moving. And that it's not just you two thinking the same way, because there's more fans are saying the same. Why haven't we heard anything? Well, why? But let me ask you this, Cowboy Corner. Do you think Dak has a lot to do with this? Because we know we owe him $59 million. So do you think he has a lot to where we have, as far as what we do and how we can do it with, this money that we got sitting right here?
No, I don't think Dak is really involved in this as much with the defense side of the ball. I think that the Steven, and Dak Prescott's agent type of situation there with the hiring process. I think it's more about Micah Parsons. I think it's more about Trayvon Diggs, because Trayvon Diggs said he wanted Al Harris on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Micah Parsons threw shade at Dan Quinn in his very first podcast after the season, right? Talking about there's linebacker packages for me. They didn't put me there. So you look at what your stars are saying as an organization, because there's respect for those players, right? So you look at what the stars are saying. Okay, how do we utilize Micah Parsons where he's happy? How do we sell this to Trayvon Diggs, who wanted Al Harris? So it's one of those things where, okay, I like this guy, I like that guy, I like this guy. Let's talk to our stars, because that's what Mike McCarthy does. He talks to his players. We hear that all the time. He'll pull his star players in, his captains, and he'll say, this is what we're thinking. What do you think? So I really believe that this is a Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker type of involvement rather than a Dak Prescott.
Chip, what do you think, brother? I mean, because like I say, we're saying we need to move fast. So what is the holdup? Is it because we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with Dak, or we're going to extend Dak, not extend Dak, and I understand what we're saying about the defensive side, but even for free agency, we got to figure out what we're going to do with Dak and his money before we can even sign him back. So what do you think the holdup is?
Well, when we speak to the quarterback, Dak Prescott, I think the holdup may not necessarily be on him, because I think he's the reason Mike McCarthy is still there in the first place. Because him and McCarthy have such, he put it on the line for him. He said, hey, if you're going to get rid of the coach, just throw me in there too. He's comfortable with Mike. I think on this defensive deal, I think Jerry Jr., Charlotte, and Will McClay, what they're looking at is I think they're going slow and analytical about it because they want to say, hey, whoever we choose, if this train runs off the track in the middle of the season, we're going to have to get rid of Mike. And we need to make sure that we have somebody solid with head coaching experience that'll be able to step in case we have to reverse the course in the middle of the year.
Yeah, it makes sense because, like I say, they did not extend Mike McCarthy. So if you're Mike McCarthy, Cowboys corner, I mean, how do you feel knowing that you didn't get extension, or are you more at the point to where you go to Jerry and say, okay, if you're not going to extend me, you say you're going to go all in, this is what I need. Do you go tell Jerry, or you kind of make some demands, hey?
No, really good question. He has to be making demands. And because that's why I'm saying, like, Girardi wouldn't be a good fit. Mike Vrabel wouldn't be a good fit. Al Harris won't be a good fit because Mike McCarthy can't afford Jason Garrett type coaching of learning on the go. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. And so that was 33% of the 30 years of why we haven't won a Super Bowl is because our head coach was learning on the go. 33% of the 30-year drought is because of Jason Garrett, right? So so Mike McCarthy knows that, right? He's a winning coach, 12-5 back-to-back seasons. He knows how to get it done. So he's looking at Jerry, he's looking at these interviews, and he's like, I got to find me something quick so what Chip is saying doesn't come to light, or where we don't have a collapse, right? Yeah. And so, but as Cowboy fans, we know the trends, and we're waiting for that trend. What's the trend? Winning season, losing season, winning season, losing season. That was our trend, right?
Yeah.
And so now with Mike McCarthy, as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, when is this going to blow up? You know what I mean? Like, when are we to be number 4 overall in the draft? Because I can feel it coming, right? But Mike McCarthy is a good enough coach where that won't happen. So he's putting things in place so that doesn't happen. And it's all about, okay, you going all in? This is what I want, X, Y, Z.
Yeah. And it makes sense, I think. What do you think, Chip? I mean, because, this is on Mike McCarthy now. And he has to play his hand right, in order to, to be successful or get the extension or whatever. But, how do you feel about Mike McCarthy in his position right now?
Cowboys kind of put down something real solid, and I really do think Mike is going to bat. This is his time to stand on the table. And say, I need my guy. It's all in. Let me go all in with who we're going to choose as this next defensive coordinator, because our offense, I can handle that, but I need to be secure in who's going to be holding down my defense and who's going to handle Michael Parsons, because, hey, he's coming at that end of the contract where if we don't hurry up and feed him, we could be in a scenario where he ships off to DC with DQ.
Yeah. Ooh. Is that possible? Oh, can we put a franchise tag on Michael Parsons, or
I tag him up, bag him up, rag him up. Whatever I gotta do is I need to go ahead and secure my man Parsons. But it may be, and pardon me, my wife's calling me. I may have to get the groceries. And talking about getting the groceries, that's what McCarthy is trying to do. Let's set the table, get the groceries, and let me get the guy that I need. It's a tricky situation, but I really think he's standing on the table, standing on his square, standing on business, saying, let me get this. If this is my year, let me go out strong and let me bring that championship home.
Yeah. What do you got, Cowboy Corner?
No, to piggyback off that, Mike McCarthy, when I go to Cowboy games in person, it sucks for me because I'm looking at stupid things like, how's the bench reacting? What's Mike McCarthy doing? What's going on over here? How's that
the jumbotron?
Right, like I'm not even watching the job. I'm looking at different things, and I'm like, oh, there's a football play. What's going on? Yeah. And so what I observed just about a little over a month ago, was Dan Quinn's up in the box. Al Harris is down on the field. I have a picture of it. Mike McCarthy's stepping back Al Harris is coaching up the defense from the signals of Dan Quinn. So Mike McCarthy is in the challenges and the timeouts of the defense, right? But the play calling, the maneuvering, the substitution, Mike McCarthy steps back and let Dan Quinn translate that to Al Harris, and that's how all that went about. So Dan Quinn or Mike McCarthy has to trust somebody to set all that up. So he steps back and lets the defense do what defense does.
So it makes sense. I mean, if that's the case, and you're saying that you've seen this, so he's pretty much familiar with the defense. Because I'm looking at, I'm saying, okay, well, he's a secondary coach and he does it well. But now that you just mentioned that these guys are working together, so it kind of makes sense. Cowboys corner to probably think about making, and Trayvon Diggs, like you said, already had requested that he should be the defensive coordinator, and I think that goes a long way because you do want a coach in position that's going to relate with your players, and who's better to do that than Al Harris or this Dirty guy, possibly, so. I can see that, but I did not know that they were connected like that between Al Harris. Oh yeah, you're right. And you never thought about that.
It's right there.
I never thought about that, bro, because I'm looking at Dan Quinn up in the stands, and I'm just thinking, but there is somebody on the field that's actually relaying the message. Wow, that it makes sense then, Cowboy Corner.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
So Mike McCarthy has to trust a defensive coordinator to get that down because Mike McCarthy, he don't want to do both because while the defense on the field, Mike McCarthy has to make the adjustments with his quarterback.
Facts.
So he has to get somebody seasoned in here. And if you look at the old men people are complaining about, it's for a reason.
It's for a reason. That's exactly what I was mentioning earlier. It's for a reason. It is for a reason. And knowing that he's on a 1-year contract. So yeah. And these guys, you probably can get them for 1 year, and again, but man, that makes sense. Cowboy Corner, that definitely makes sense. That really makes sense. So, with that being said, here we are with Dak. What does that look like to you, Chip? Are we going to extend him, and how far out we're going to extend him? Watch out, Cowboy Corner. Stop it. What does that look like with this $59 million? I mean, because $59 million is a lot of money to just give to one man, without extension. That means you don't get players. So how do you feel about this situation with Dak, brother, in his contract?
I'm Chip Game. And I'm pushing all those chips in. I'm putting everything on Dak. You don't get many quarterbacks that could play to the level of Dak Prescott. I don't care what anyone has to say about him. Dak Prescott is top 10 for sure, top 5 arguably. And this is a quarterback that you could spend 5-6 years, or if you don't want to go that long, spend a couple of years and nurture young Trey Lance behind him. But this is the type of guy that you keep, and for your future. He's shown that he can do it. But will you give him the line so he can execute like he can and don't have to throw this thing across the yard 60 times a game? Do you get the offensive interior, defensive interior line that can stop a run, that can give you the type of stops where your quarterback can really get busy? Dak is the man for the job. I got all the faith in the world, and I think they spend the money on Dak and restructure some more contracts. They've been doing it down through the years. They know how to restructure.
Yeah. All right, Cowboy Corner. I see that look on your face, man. I mean, this is the Cowboy Huddle. That's what we come to bet. We the only ones that can talk about our Cowboys. Anybody outside, it might be some smoke. You know what I mean? So, he done turned his head backwards. Okay, Cowboys Corner. So, what is your take about Dak Prescott?
So, to me, Dak Prescott can win in the regular season. We've seen that, right? I call Dak Prescott the regular season GOAT. I've had for many years. I jumped off the Dak ship in 2018. I was a big Dak fan for 2 years of Dak Prescott's career. 2018, I had to take a step back and say, you know what? I can't buy into this guy. I bought into Tony Romo for many years. Tony Romo had a 2-5 playoff or 2-4 playoff record. It got me nowhere going to bat for Tony Romo, right? It got me nowhere. So I told myself, no matter who the quarterback is, I'm not going to go down that road again until they can show me that they have the it, right? The regular season to me, G. Hampton, is an interview, right? You interview 17 interviews. And if you're good, if you interview good enough, you get the job. The job is the playoffs. If you suck at your job, you're going to get fired. They don't go back and say, we have to keep him because he interviewed well. They're going to fire your ass and go look for another guy that can interview. That's in life. So when I look at Dak Prescott, with Mike McCarthy on a 1-year deal, ironically, Dak Prescott's on the last year of his deal. But if I'm Jerry Jones, who went around the organization asking executives for the Dallas Cowboys, is Dak really our guy? Jerry had doubts even before he extended Dak Prescott, right? So Jerry's going around asking if Dak's our guy. Then, when they signed Dak Prescott, Jerry looked at him and said, I overpaid for you. The ink was still fresh. So I'm looking at this with Mike McCarthy's last year. I'm looking at this with Dak Prescott's last year, but I keep hearing $60 million, G. I keep hearing $60 million, Chip. But here's what I see. I see 2 voided years at the end of that contract.
Yeah.
I see that. I don't see that in a conversation, but I do. So if this is Mike McCarthy's last year and Dak Prescott's going into year 9 and we don't have anything but a 2-5 playoff record, what does that tell me? You interviewed well, but you didn't do your job. So what I would do...
Cowboys corner. Now, when we talk about an interview, one thing about football is we don't get to play by ourselves. Am I right about it? This has to be a joint interview. I don't give up 40 points. I throw the ball. I can't block for myself. Left guard, blind side. I don't do I get myself sacked? Come on now. Let's lay it all on there. Let's layer this thing up. Dak is what do you say about Dan Marino? What do you say about Josh Allen? What do you say about Burrows? What do you say about the guy down in Jacksonville? Very capable. What do you say about the guy in Charger land?
Let me ask you that. Let me answer that question real quick.
That needs more weapons, and this team has to get the spirit of the Eagles, the spirit of the Rams, where they show to you that they're all in. They get a Adamakin Suh. They pick up, Odell Beckham, talking about the Rams a few years ago. They pick up who they have to pick up to take weight off of your quarterback so we can get to the next level. And Dak is the quarterback that can get you there and to the next level. He wins 12 games. Without Dak Prescott, you win 5. Same thing with Tony Romo.
No, hold on. There's a lot to cover here. And I'm not trying to debate or take over Cowboys Huddle. Please don't feel that way.
No, you're fine, man. This is what it is, the Cowboy Huddle.
So you make valid points, right? But the point that it's a team effort only goes into when you don't win playoffs, when you don't have playoff success. We just seen Steven stand up at the Senior Bowl and say, quarterback success, and he brought up Patrick Mahomes, he brought up Tom Brady. He didn't bring up the Chiefs are a good team. He brought up Patrick Mahomes. He single-handedly called out the quarterback. He didn't say Tom Brady had Randy Moss. He didn't say Tom Brady had a really good defense. No, he brought up Tom Brady. Woo. The talking point that it's a team effort only happens when you lose. Eli Manning is going viral for a rant that he didn't say, psych, we beat Tom Brady twice. He said, psych, I beat Tom Brady twice. So the conversation about it's a team effort only plays in part when you have a failing season, right? Yeah. Because if Dak Prescott won a Super Bowl, the narrative would be Dak won us a Super Bowl. It wouldn't be the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. It wouldn't be Micah Parsons won a Super Bowl. It would be Dak Prescott won the Dallas Cowboys a Super Bowl. It's only a joint effort when you don't have success. So when I look at the Green Bay Packers playoff game, I see a quarterback throw a pick six and have that team score before he put up points for his own team. when I look at the Dak Prescott that was in that playoff game, and I gave Dak Prescott a lot of props. G. Hampton, you know I gave Dak Prescott a lot of props this season. But
I was surprised. I was really surprised. He was on that wagon, Chip. He was on that wagon.
No, I wasn't on the wagon. This is what I said, and you remember this. I like Dak Prescott, but I love him at a what? An arm's distance.
Gotcha.
See?
Right.
Did I not say that?
Yeah, you said that. You're right. You're right.
So, and the reason why I'm at the arm's distance is because my faith in Dak shows me that, okay, I've been calling him a regular season GOAT, so he could put up numbers in the regular season. But it's ironic that when we play the 49ers, we got our butts smoked. When we play these teams where, okay, Dak, this is the make or break. This is the challenge. I don't see Dak really overcome that. We can bully the bad teams. That's great. We can get those padded stats. That's amazing. But I need you when the lights are even brighter in the state of Texas. I need you to be that better quarterback. And for me, I get it. Lamb drop passes. I get it. The defense couldn't stop a leaking faucet, right? All they had to do was turn the knob. I get that. But there comes a moment in time where there's a shootout that happens. Okay. My defense can't stop. It's time for me to go saddle up and go score points. The first 4 drives, punt, interception, punt, pick 6. Next thing you know, you look up, your popcorn's cold, and it's 27-0. And you're wondering, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, hey, man, I got to give it up for both of you guys. Because, man, I'm going to tell you something. That is valid points on both of your response to that, man. Valid points, because I think every fan is thinking the same way Chip is thinking and thinking the way Cowboys Corner is thinking. And that's the beauty of it, because this is what we do. We're trying to figure out how do we get to the next level. But with that being said, Cowboy Corner, you still didn't answer my question. Do you extend or do you not extend?
Oh, you don't extend Dak. You have to let Dak earn it. You have to let Dak earn it. As a fan, I get it. As players, and you have a son that played, players are all about you get your money. But as a fan, I don't know what it's like to make $1 million in a year. Well, no, I know what it's like to make a tenth of that. You know what I'm saying?
Now I
don't know what it's like.
But here's the deal, though, Chip. We have to do what's in the best interest of the team. There was a time that when, Jerry Jones, and that's why I always said I think Stephen Jones is running this camp now, because, there was a time Jerry Jones would go out there and, and buy a player like Deion Sanders, Charles Haley, Ken Norton, these guys. If we can't play with them, we can't beat them, we want them to join us. And he would go buy players. And here's a deal. We could be at that position again. But to not extend him, that means he's going to walk with the $59 million. So how are we going to get players if we don't extend him?
The voided years. You restructure that contract. You get $20 million. It pushes some dead money to the voided years. Then you restructure. Then you restructure your other players. You can free up about $50 million without extending Dak Prescott because you got the 2 voided years.
Ooh, Chip.
I'm going to stand on my square, and you gotta extend Dak. Period. Let's just look at when Ray Lewis wins a Super Bowl. What did the quarterback do? The quarterback could hardly manage a game. He wasn't a bus, ride the bus, whatever you want to call it. This guy was scrambling. He wasn't a great quarterback. But the defense did what they had to do. And all he had to do was give them about 17 points or more, and you could win a game. Hey, right. Dak, they don't, in the Bible, there was something like manna that fell down from heaven and fed folks. Mm-hmm. Ain't no football manna of quarterbacks falling down in the NFL. And where we pick every year, you don't have the ability to get that top tier quarterback. Where does that replacement come from? The quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys over the last 2 terms, talking about Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. You've been blessed to have Tony Romo. You've been blessed to have Dak Prescott. Without the both of them, you don't even get the 8-8 in those years with Tony Romo with that sorry offense they were scrambling out and bringing out there. You don't get the 12-5 without Dakota. You just don't do it. You look at men lie, women lie, numbers don't. We on the interview. Tell me what happens in the regular season. Well, everybody's strapping up for the regular season just like they are in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, what needs to happen and what's been totally shown on film is that the Dallas Dallas Cowboys need better coaching schemes. How does a guy get so schemed out of the game that you're waiting for a punt, but it's not a punt, it's really a throw? Green Bay Packers. Come on, you're getting out of the game offensively, defensively. Your special teams pretty much shows up. But in the playoffs, Dak Prescott does need to play a little better. Yes, I concede to that fact. But the team needs to elevate as well with your quarterback. Some quarterbacks need time to warm up. Patrick Mahomes in these playoffs needed time to warm up. A couple of games he didn't warm up to quarter 3. You can't get Dak out of quarter 1 because the defense getting ran all over the place. So it changes your play calling. Hey, the mentality of your wide receiver wasn't there. Your tight end wanted to play, but you're not blocking for Dak. You're not running the routes for the Dak. Last year, Dak is putting it right on the money and is bouncing all off of your shoulder pads. No, sir. You got to bring Dak back. Now, bring him back wisely and smartly. You can move money around and kick some down the field. Cowboys know how to do that very well. But keep Dak Prescott. Bring him back. And if you put pieces around him, Cowboys corner, I believe something will happen. That's what I believe.
And this is the thing, and I think that what Cowboys corner was saying, you know, when he said not to extend them, but you can still move the money around in order to get players. But I mean, I don't know if we do want Dak to be here for the next 4 to 5, 6 years. But what he's saying is because of those void years, you can move, you know, restructure and still save $50 million. But, you know, again, we're the fans talking about what they're doing on the inside. So
$50 million with other restructures. With Dak's restructure, you will get $20 million.
Right. Got you. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to hold you guys on here too long, but so all we got now is the Super Bowl, and then we got to get ready for this draft. Chip, where are you going to draft first? Where do you think our biggest need is when we're talking about this draft in 2024? Where are we starting at, or where would you start?
Well, whether it's offensive line or defensive line, I want big body bangers.
Okay.
Give me somebody with some bricks in their pocket. Get me a big greasy guy. Give me a big potato eating, hamburger eating, 312-pounder.
Yeah, and knowing that we got a situation on that front offensive line, you know, we got to figure out what we're going to do with Tyron. Tyler Biad is another one that could be leaving us as well. So Cowboy Corner, with this draft coming up, and that's basically all we got forward to look to is the draft. Where do you think our biggest need would be when we go into this draft?
The trenches, G. Hampton. The trenches. All right.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle. So on the Frisco Report, I did a mock draft last night on the Frisco Report every Tuesday. The FriscoReport.com, Podbeam, iTunes, Spotify, you name it. For the Frisco Report, get your boy a follow. But
okay, most definitely, we need to do that.
But I did an all-in mock draft. All right, I was looking for trade pieces, boom, 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 and I was like, okay, nothing. So how this draft fell was the first round, Johnson Powers Johnson. All right. Woo! My second pick. Sweat out of Texas, the big defensive tackle.
Ooh,
because Tavondre Sweat, that's his name. I didn't want to chop it up, but I got it now. Tavondre Sweat out of Texas, the defensive tackle. All right. The trenches, you want to go all in? fix my trenches. You fix my trenches, we might have Dak Prescott be a really good bus driver and don't give him a flat tire to the bus.
Yeah, you get that. Yeah. So Chip. Okay, we're talking about the trenches. We need a running game. Why haven't we brought in Derrick Henry? What are we going to do about this running game? Because we know right now Tony Pollard, I think his locker is cleaned out, and he's already expecting to be looking for another team. So where are we going to go when it comes to this running game? I mean, we hadn't done anything. Derrick Henry's sitting out there, and we definitely need to improve. So where do we go from here, man?
Absolutely. Tony Pollard, from what I understand on an interview today, this guy didn't even know that Dan Quinn was out of there. That's how far he's checked out. So we're not looking to bring him back. You definitely have to kick the tires and see, can you bring Henry in here? Derrick Henry lives right in Texas.
Hey, right in Dallas.
He could drive right away to practice wherever you need him to go. He could get there. That's the first person I'm looking at. But get somebody that Derrick Henry caliber and also draft someone. I keep number 40, get Tony Pollard up out of there, get Rico Dowdle out of here, and let's get me a stud and Derrick Henry and somebody of that nature.
Okay. And that's what I was just mentioning earlier, Cowboy Corner. I mean, this running game is bro, it's depleted. We need to fix this running game, and we got Derrick Henry sitting out there and there's no word. I mean, like Chip says, right here in Dallas, why haven't we made a move, or are we waiting for the draft to draft the running back?
Yeah, I think you got some good free agents hitting the market for running back, right? You got Saquon Barkley, how much you want to spend there. The running back market ain't very big, right? And with Saquon Barkley, with his health history, you can do a lot of incentives, and so you have to make him earn it, right? Just with Derrick Henry, it's the same type of thing. I think Derrick Henry, you might be able to give him $7-8 million that year, right? Yeah. So, but we do that. You have to still draft a running back. Because Malik Davis right now is the only running back on the roster.
Right.
If you want to count Hunter Lemke. So Tony Pollard's gone. Dowdle is who knows what could happen with that. But if you go get a Derrick Henry, you have to still draft a young buck.
Yeah, you have to. And that one buck I'm looking at is out of Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Notre Dame, Audric Estime. Oh my gosh, have you seen it? Well, guess what, guys? I want to share this video with you real quick because I do have a video. I have a video. So, yeah, man. So I want to share this with you guys real quick. I wanted to see here if I can do this here. Let's go here. And you got this. So check this guy out, man. Have you seen this guy yet, Chip?
I haven't seen them, and I really don't look for guys until they got a star on the side of their helmets. But
I know it, but you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this guy, and I guarantee you're going to say, yeah, he's a perfect fit. So let's check this out real quick. And yeah, he's 5'11", 233 pounds. Okay. Let me see here. Just watch this guy, man. I mean, whoo. I mean, this is what we need. We need a big body with some quick feet and that can move the chain. And this guy, look, he can catch out the backfield as well. And I mean, we missed this, guys. A big body that can move like this. This guy can move.
He could change direction too very well.
Yes. His name is Audric Estime. And yeah, he's gonna be in the draft, but I like it because he's a pound. Look at this guy, man. I mean, look at this guy.
That's what I'm talking about. Move stuff. Yes, sir.
Move some furniture. Look at this. Look.
Yes, sir.
Quick feet, got vision, has great vision.
Yeah.
So, this is just something, guys. I mean, look, what? Kind of remind you of Zeke there.
And he don't look like no change of pace. This is the guy that's going to say, I'm the bell cow. I'm here to play.
That's what we need. We need the bell cow, man. This guy here. And, this just, like I say, this just something, man. And I've been kind of doing like you as well. Cowboy corner as far as just looking at some of those recruits out there, man, and some of those draftees out there. But man, that's one. And then they got another guy named Braylon Allen. He's another one out of Wisconsin. He's another big body. He's 6'1" and at 230, 235, 236. And he's a banger. He's a banger.
Thumpers, G.
Yeah, he's a thumper, bro. So hopefully those guys will be available, man. But we definitely got to fix something on this offensive side of the ball as far as this run game, man. So, but okay, with the last few words, guys, what do you got, Cowboy Corner? What do you want to finish up with, my man?
No, thanks for having me, man. It's going to be real interesting to see who the Cowboys pick for the defensive coordinator position. It's going to be real interesting with free agents coming up in about a month. And you know, there's 16 free agents for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't think not one of them is a priority. I think you can replace all 16, get younger, stronger, faster. There's no reason. I mean, we could talk about Gilmore, we could talk about Tyron Smith, you know, we could talk about these guys, but with Trayvon Diggs coming back, with Deron Bland, go get you another corner. You know, with this new defenses, don't get a lot of Dan Quinn turnover, because this defensive coordinator might not want that turnover.
Yeah.
Right. So don't be surprised. Oh, why aren't we signing this guy? Well, we got a new defensive coordinator. People, calm down.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be real interesting to see how our dominoes fall, so to speak.
Yeah. What do you think, Chip? What are your final thoughts, my man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm just still, you know, I guess I'm getting over the losses, but I'm excited about what's going to happen this year coming, and just excited. Number one, thank you, G, for having me, and great to be on with you, Cowboy Corner. Definitely an honor tonight. I'm happy about it. I just think the Cowboys need to pay attention, keep the main thing, get your schemes together, get your culture and your locker room together. Because right now this locker room is in shambles. Let's get it together and let's get some meat. Let's get some thumpers, some big greasy dogs.
So I agree with you. And you know, and I looked at this scenario as well, man. I mean, you know, if, and this was what you just had mentioned, Cowboys Corner, if we were to let Tyler Biadasz go and we're able to draft Jackson Powers Johnson, we could also maybe slide Bass at that left guard and maybe slide Tyler Smith out the tackle.
Just one thing on that.
Go ahead.
Just one thing on that. Tyler Smith, the reason why he never got kicked out was because he don't want to play that. He told the front office, I'm comfortable at left guard. So if he moves to left tackle, it's gonna be a head scratcher or something really went haywire. But Brock Hoffman will be your center if you can't get a center somewhere down the line. Brock Hoffman's that dog.
Yeah, that's right. Hoffman is one. Okay, and so we can still draft the offensive tackle as well. Now, I like this one kid out of Washington. His name is what's his name? Troy Fontenot. Have you watched that guy yet?
Yes.
Yeah, Fontenot. He's a beast. I like him. Hey, Chip, you would love this guy. This guy's tough. He keeps his pad level down, and he destroys the man ahead of him. You know, so that's something that we can look at. But my main concern also, we have to get true linebackers. We have to get true big 235, 40-pound linebackers. So that is something I want to see as well. So again, we just have to see what happened, man. But you know,
Troy, to touch on that, Troy is a really good guy at 6'4", 317. I have my Excel sheet. I already went through 50 players already. Yeah, I have my Excel sheet filled out here. He's in my top 50. Obviously, he's a really good player. I got him listed as a guard with the 6'4", 317 frame. I have him there as a guard.
Yeah. So you think now? Let me ask you this question real quick. So you know Tyler Guyton, he's the top guy out there.
Yes.
So, but it seems, is he able to play both sides? Because I thought I noticed him playing a lot on the right side at the right tackle. So you think you can, if he's available at 24, would you go get him? Or
are we talking about Guyton?
Yeah, Guyton.
Yeah, no. Any offensive lineman that the Cowboys see fit, like we in the first round, Cowboys draft the offensive lineman, they know what they're doing, right? Now that's just what it is. Whether that's Guyton whether that's Fonte or whatever his name is, Troy there from Washington State, whoever it is. They have to be smart about it. They have to be, but don't overreach, because the reason why I say that, because you got Matt Walesko. You have a couple of pieces. They're awesome Richards who you spent an early pick on, right? So you have to be able to develop these guys, because if you can't develop them, you're letting me know that you're a horrible drafter.
Yeah, and you're a horrible coach, basically.
Right. And so because this draft class, G. Hampton, I'm on the Frisco Report. You want to hear me draft? This is where I talk draft on the Frisco Report. So you want like this draft class gave zero substance to the Packers game. We needed Mozzie. We needed Schoonmaker.
Oh my God.
We needed Overshown. We needed Awesome Richards. We needed Jalen Brooks. We needed these guys, and none of them were there. This draft class right here could go down as one of the worst drafts in Dallas Cowboy history.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in Mozzie, man. You expect your first round pick to come in and play and contribute to the game and make a difference, but we didn't see that in Mozzie. I mean, what do you think, Chip? How do you feel about Mozzie Smith?
You can't bring in a guy like Mozzie, who was a big body banger in college. He comes on the Cowboys and lose 20-something pounds.
Yeah, we know it.
Ask the question, what's happening there, number one of all? Is that coaching? Is that him? How does that happen? No. We need somebody that's big, that could get on the side of Hankins, that could really clog something up. And you go losing 20-something pounds, you're not clogging nothing at all. So they need to revisit what happened there. That's something I would study. If I'm in an organization, how did that happen? How do we not let it happen again? Because we brought you here to be big, but you came here, you wanted to be small.
Well, you know what? Let me say this here, because when my son was at Texas Tech, man, I'm going to tell you the difference in the two is professional. They're not into the weightlifting and, like in college. College, it's a whole different story. I mean, you're doing the 5 a.m. workouts, you're doing the midnight workouts, you're doing the sand pits. So I think once he transitioned to the NFL, the workout routine was different. So he couldn't keep that weight up, because, and like I say, and not only that, when they're in practice, these guys basically have a short time to practice now. They don't, they get so many hours to get on the field. Everything's routine. So I can see that happening because, like I say, the routines are different from college to professional. But he's going to have to find a way to put that weight back on one way or another.
Next year, let's give him a couple of quarter pounders, $5 foot longs. Let's get him some submarines, some Philly steaks, something. 1 pounder steaks. Let's load this table up.
I know you're right, bro. That makes a lot of sense, man. But hey, guys, again, Cowboy Corner, let everybody know where they can find you when you do your draft or whatever.
Yeah, the FriscoReport.com, or you can go to the Frisco Report on Podbean, on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere podcast. Type in the Frisco Report, and we'll pop right up. Me and Cowboys blog.
Okay, that's what's up. Chip, you want to give out your TikTok channel, brother, and everybody, so everybody can follow you as well?
Yeah, check me out on TikTok at Chip Game Sports TV, all one word. Check me out on YouTube at Chip Game Sports TV. Definitely would appreciate the follow.
All right, y'all make sure y'all do that, man. Go follow these guys, man.
I'm doing it right now.
All right, that's what's up. But hey, again, guys, thank y'all for coming through, man, and hanging out with me, man. And let's just see what happens. Again, we're just fanatics about our Dallas Cowboys and holding their foot to the fire. So we're just waiting to see what takes place with our Dallas Cowboys. So again, with that being said, guys, like I always say, don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. So let's make it happen. Dallas Cowboys. Deuces.